I'm actually really curious. If we weren't to label it people pleasing, what would you call it? What would you say it? It could be a sentence, it could be a phrase. I think I really like that I used to appease people, to make people comfortable, because it just seemed easier for me at the time. It seemed easier to make someone else comfortable than me speaking up or walking away from something and making, more of a scene. Didn't want to have the conflict. So we think it's easier to go, okay, I'm just going to do what they want me to do because it's easier. But really, it's not in the long term, right? And so the first thing that you can do is, getting away from this label. What you're doing is you are rebirthing, you are relearning your self-identity. We don't want to make that label our self-identity. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Evangeline, and on this channel we talk all about inner child work, spiritual awakening, and self-development. And I'm so glad that you're here. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, to put a thumbs up if you're loving these videos so you don't miss another valuable content. I am just loving being here with you guys, sharing a piece of the journey every single video of what you can do to really anchor yourself, put yourself first. You're doing this for your younger self and for who you are today as you step into your higher self, and it's such an honor to be here. I want to talk to you today about people pleasing. And the first thing that I want to say is we need to get rid of that label. It's so easy to label yourself as, oh, I'm a people pleaser, oh, I've been a people pleaser, or oh, I'm trying to get over being a people pleaser. We are getting away from any kind of label. You can't fit yourself into a box, but it's so easy to, because that's part of our programming and what our inner child is keeping captive and stuck in survival mode, all the things. Usually on the inner child healing, people discover that there's a part of themselves that used to please, that used to give their needs away in order to be loved, and coming home to yourself, putting yourself first, maintaining boundaries, all of it. You realize, oh my goodness, there's a lot of times that my intuition, my nervous system was saying, walk away or don't do this certain thing, but we did it. We did it to appease other people, to make other people comfortable, and it kept our nervous system in fight or flight, and it kept our inner child voice down. And so as we awaken, as we let our inner child speak to us, we have some moments where we're like, wow, quote unquote, people pleasing was a part of my journey. So I want to talk to you today about some different perspectives on people pleasing. But number one, we're getting away from that label. I'm actually really curious. If we weren't to label it people pleasing, what would you call it? What would you say it? It could be a sentence, it could be a phrase. I think I really like that I used to appease people, to make people comfortable, because it just seemed easier for me at the time. It seemed easier to make someone else comfortable than me speaking up or walking away from something and making, more of a scene. Didn't want to have the conflict. So we think it's easier to go, okay, I'm just going to do what they want me to do because it's easier. But really, it's not in the long term, right? And so the first thing that you can do is, getting away from this label. What you're doing is you are rebirthing, you are relearning your self-identity. We don't want to make that label our self-identity. One key way of how you can see if you struggled with this is how often do you allow things on the outside of you to dictate your worth? One of the core belief systems that our inner child might be harboring, might still be stuck in, is it doesn't matter how I feel on the inside, but how I appear on the outside. I'm going to say that again. It doesn't matter how I feel on the inside, but how I appear on the outside. So how does that resonate with you and your inner child? Just, give your inner child permission to feel a little bit here, speak to you a little bit. To expand this, it's okay, are you chasing after love? Are you chasing after just having confidence, but your self-worth is shot. Like, you don't know who you are. Your self-worth is like very, very low self-esteem. It could be that you're chasing after love, and chasing something outside of you to be loved. And I've said this in many of my videos before, but I'll restate it here, is that part of the inner child work is relearning love, redefining it for yourself. It doesn't have to be what you grew up in. So here's the thing, it can get really messy and chaotic as we learn to stop making someone else comfortable and actually allow yourself to say no, stick to your boundaries. And I feel like nobody really talks about how hard it can be, though, to actually do this inner work, to allow yourself to say no and to maintain your boundaries. And people are really used to maybe you catering, or you changing your plans to appease, to make them comfortable, or just not showing that part of yourself. Oops, isn't this pretty? This is my grandma's. I'm home because it's Thanksgiving weekend here in Canada, yay! And so whatever it is, the thing is that we literally go through a process where we grieve the version of us that would allow other people to walk all over us, that would allow and stay in that state of, well, it's easier, so I'm just going to be quiet and I'm going to do the thing that they want me to. Meanwhile, our nervous system is like, what are you doing to me? And your inner child is like screaming. So, you know, getting away from people pleasing is also, you're doing this for your younger self, and your younger self is so grateful that you're doing this. You're speaking up. Now you're making your own decisions. And it's something that maybe you at one time really, really wanted to do. So congratulations, you're here. So I want to talk about a special phase when you are unlearning the need to please others. There's a phase that you go through. I've gone through it. I have watched other people in my life go through it. And that's when, okay, you realize that you used to give your needs away in order to be loved. You're aware of it. You don't want to do it anymore. So you go through this phase of, I'm going to stop giving to others. I'm just going to stop. And then you start to really close your heart. And you close your heart because you realized how much people have taken, how much you've given, and how many friendships, relationships, family friendships that you've had where you have given and given and given, and it hasn't been given in return, and you no longer have room for that kind of behavior in your life. You're starting to give to yourself. So you go through a period usually, and let me know if you identify with this, where you close your heart and you just don't want to give at all. But what this can do, and I want you to be aware of this and maybe reflect and see if this is something you've gone through, you're going through it maybe, but what can happen is, because we're closing our heart, we don't see when someone is wanting to give to us. We don't know how to receive because we have been used to being the giver and overextending ourselves and draining and being in that survival mode. And so what I want to do is to bring this into focus, because I don't want you to stay stuck in there. You do need time to establish boundaries. You need time to go, okay, I can't give anymore. But I don't want you to stay there. I don't want you to completely close your heart, because chances are you are having so many opportunities where people are wanting to give to you. So there's a phrase and it goes like this: release, let go, open. So we are releasing all the times that we did overgive and we catered and we stayed silent. We're releasing that. We're letting go of friends and relationships that hurt us, that took advantage of. We don't have time for that behavior. But then we need to open our heart again to receive goodness, joy, calmness, consistency, people showing up for us and us allowing them to give. So that's the big key thing here with the people pleasing, healing from the people pleasing, I'll just say that, is that don't close your heart for too long. I want you to open your heart because there's so many beautiful people out there that want to meet you halfway, that do want to give to you. And this is the thing, is that you are enough. You are worthy to receive this. Because I think for so long we can think and believe that we're not worthy. So that's why we overextend. We overextend and we can be codependent, we can overgive and cater because we think that that is what feeds our self-worth when it doesn't. And so when we're having a higher value of who we are for ourselves, we realize we can't overgive. It's a boundary. It's a way that we can give ourselves love and appreciation and honoring ourselves. And so a huge thing that has helped me that I want to share with you is I got to a point where I was really, really tired of people not showing up for me. I would show up for them. I would communicate. I would give. I would do something for them, and nothing was given in return. And we don't do things to get something in return. But I just noticed that there was a lot of one-way friendships that I had. And so I would get really frustrated, really resentful, and that's what hurts me, right? We have to release and let go and open those three things so that the pain doesn't stay stuck inside, right? A lot of this work is about emotional release, emotional pain coming to the surface so it can be released. And it can be really easy to hold a grudge. This is the other thing, is maybe you're not feeling appreciated, right? And so we overgive for compensation of someone else not meeting us and showing up for us. Does that make sense? So we overextend, and what I used to do was overextend, overgive in compensation of that person that I really wanted in my life to show up for me. I would just overgive, and then they got used to that. And when I stopped doing that, when I stopped overextending myself in compensation of them not meeting me halfway, a lot of people dropped off in my life, and that can be incredibly hard when that happens. Now, what can happen is that people do step up and they do walk alongside you, and more people. That's why I want you to open, because you're going to open up to new friends, new relationships that do want to give you your highest value and do truly appreciate you. The next point I want to bring up is don't stay a victim to the people-pleasing mode, the people-pleasing in your past. Don't stay a victim to it. If you hear yourself complaining a lot that you used to be the giver and you're the only one that gives, and that's your common narrative about your past journey, that's another sign that you're staying stuck in a closed heart. You get to change the script. You get to shift. You can shift and you can change, and that's not who you want to be. And you either get to be the victim of your story or the hero of your story. And so you saying, okay, that's what I used to do. I used to give and overextend myself and cater, but I am stepping into openness where I receive. Just say that out loud with me. I receive goodness. I receive people in my life that do want to appreciate. I receive the fact and the inner knowing that I can give to myself in a beautiful way that I've never given. Like, that's the thing, guys, is that so often we overextend ourselves to others because we are not giving to ourselves first. There is a beautiful way to give to others you're giving out of compassion, you're giving out of wanting to serve, but it's so different than the people pleasing. And I feel like we go through this journey where, okay, you have to let the emotions out, you have to let the rage out, you have to let the bitterness out, you have to set those boundaries and keep those promises to yourself, and then you do get to give to others. But it's a beautiful way to give. It's not the same, and you will learn this if you haven't already, that I want to give to people and serve people out of genuine love because I've already given to myself. My cup is full. I've listened to my own needs for today, and now I get to go give to someone else. I'm not operating in this urgency of, I've got to give to this person or else I'm not going to be worthy enough. All right, guys, that is it for today. I am sending you so much love. This journey is so beautiful and it's messy. So just know that this is a safe place for you to come to learn a tangible tool, some value into your life. I want to know how you're doing. Comment below, subscribe, and of course, the Soul Talk method is open for enrollment. You can apply below, book a free call, and the Soul Talk method is your blueprint to heal your inner child, free these parts of yourself, feel safe and be safe within yourself again, and step deeper into your soul awakening. And it would be an honor to guide you inside the Soul Talk method. If you would like to know more information, comment below, send me an email. I'd love to learn about your journey and help you navigate through this. We're in this together. You're here for this journey. Don't stay stuck in the past. Don't stay stuck being a people pleaser. You're moving through it. Continue to allow yourself to move through it. Be the hero in your journey, and I'll talk to you later.